Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Before I get this lesson report started, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakadash, and double honor to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone, of whom I learned from, and shalom to the hope of elect. Taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits of Yasharah to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahweh Shai. It's your brother Adah. So, really quick.
Due to a government shutdown, U.S. airports are experiencing staffing shortages and long security lines. Hundreds of TSA officers have resigned or are absent, and ICE agents are now helping, causing further delays.
So I did not realize, I thought when the government shutdown stopped, which was back, I believe sometime in November, I stopped listening to the news, but it seemed like it stopped. So I automatically assumed that everything was corrected with the airports. Come to find out, after the new year, the government had another shutdown, I believe, starting sometime in here, let me ask it. So I asked it.
The first shutdown ended on November 12th, 2025. A new shutdown began on January 31st, 2026.
Okay, and I didn't know that. And as a result, and I didn't know how many times, look. Let me see.
The Senate Republicans have blocked the Democrats' bills to pay TSA personnel, with reports suggesting between 6 and 9, possibly up to 11, attempts have been rejected. They oppose these efforts, wanting broader funding instead.
So I didn't know that either, right? At the same time, all this stuff's happening with the war. The freaking Iran has got a clench hold on the gasoline or on the oil, which is going to affect travel, which is going to affect the prices. And then so I'm like, oh shit. And so then I'm starting to realize, wait a minute. And then now they're bringing in ICE agents, right? Why are they bringing in ICE agents when they can just pay? Because the TSA people are quitting. Like, let me see, I'm gonna pull that up. How many people are quitting in the TSA? How many?
Over 450 TSA officers have quit their jobs since the government shutdown began in February of 2026. Reports show that at least 458 officers left, citing working without pay as the main reason, which has led to staffing shortages at U.S. airports.
So that's a lot. And I think that's even more in the thousands on the lower level. Like, so there's nobody there to do their job. And so what's the government, what's Trump doing? They're bringing in the ICE agents to help, right? What does this sound like, you guys? So the gasoline prices are going to start going up, right? It's going to get worse. We just started with the war. You got travel being hindered and congested. Let's try to get some news on that real quick. So what is this? This is Second Esdras, man. Oh, snap. What the Salakia? Let me see. Airports. Let's see if that just pulls it up. Yeah. So don't think that the people in the government, they don't understand the data. Bro, I completely I took this out of my mind as of last, November, October, when supposedly the government shutdown stopped. And I just assumed that everything was going to go back to being normal, right? It's all kind of fuckery. I think they even paid out some bonuses, some back pay, but they only paid like a certain amount of people, and other people they didn't pay. I didn't realize any of this, and I just been going on through life, focused on other parts, learning other parts of privacy, but not paying attention to this. Dude, travel is a major thing. It's a major functionality of this nation. Air travel, and then of course on the roads, right?
This is history, for sure. I've never experienced anything like this. literally standing in a subway, shoulder to shoulder. Access to restrooms is limited due to the sheer amount of people that are down there.
So we're in the basement right now, the subway corridor of Terminal A of Houston Intercontinental. You can hear people saying, this is terrible. Folks right about here have already been waiting 2 hours, they say, without adequate AC, water, food, a lot of frustration, no bathrooms, this gentleman just said. Concern, of course, around the DHS government shutdown. It's in its 6th week, and here at Houston, the sick call-out rate among TSA officers is 40%. That's part of the reason why you're seeing all of this buildup.
People are calling in sick because they don't have money to pay for gas, and gas is going up higher because of what's happening with Iran and America. Dude, this shit is like, this is like serious, man.
Here, we have been seeing some ICE officers around trying to help.
And now this is the first. What the fuck are they? Oh, they need help. No, that's the government. That is the government official presence, right? And they're also fucking arresting people that are not documented.
Airport personnel handing out water, but clearly not sufficient for travelers who say they've arrived 5 or 6 hours early to their flight and are still concerned that they're not going to make it. You can see just how long this line goes down here and then snakes back around.
No air conditioning, no service. It was horrible.
No bathroom.
There's no bathroom down there, no food.
Now remember, none of these people are familiar with prophecy. All they know is whatever hobbies they're into, whatever they do for work, the secular newses that they watch or don't watch, the sitcoms that they watch, the apps that they have on their phones, to the movies they watch. That's their world inside of their brains. All they have is the narrative of Esau through the media of the West, which is just it's all distraction and entertainment. It's seasonal sports with seasonal holidays and a whole bunch of fucking movies to stream, right? All programming, all distracting, social media. They don't know. So I'm gonna let it play.
Kids and dogs for sure. Down there, they're struggling. Like, it's so hot, and they're having to go.
They just think, oh, this is a bad thing. It's going to get better. Or people think, with Trump, we got to vote someone new in. That's not what prophecy says.
Do multiple terminals, both lines for both security checkpoints are meeting downstairs, so it's just mass chaos. I definitely think that they need to vote the Save America Act through, because that's what's paying our DHS agents, paying our TSA. I think that. Also, I don't think that TSA should be funded by the government. I'm like that kind of person. I think it should be privately funded, because I don't think that transportation should ever be a way for our government to use it against each other. This is history.
Okay, now
for sure.
Let's check out gas prices. Gas prices now.
No, it's outrageous.
It's almost $7.
Drivers reacting to San Francisco gas prices that are going for, yes, $6.57 a gallon for regular unleaded at this Chevron station, $5.96 on average in San Francisco.
The Bay Area is paying close to $2 more than the national average for gasoline, which is absurd. We should be at $1 more.
That's Jamie Court, who heads the...
The president just said that for the next 5 days, we're not going to bombard Iran's energy facilities, and instead we're going to negotiate. So the markets took that as really welcome news. We were at $110 a barrel for oil right before that announcement, and now we're just below 100. That is welcome news, but your gas prices are still stuck at $4. How do we get $4 gas back down under $3 where we were right before the war? Well, that's going to take a lot of doing. Let me show you. First, you have barrels of oil, and they need to be converted into gasoline at a refinery. To get it to the refinery and then stored and then put on a truck, it's going to take a while. This could take weeks, this process. And then your gas station needs to get this gas at $100 and not at $110.
So, as far as the oil price, right?
Big oil appeal to the American people.
So the news is saying it like that. Let me see. Iran war news today. Let's just.
After more than 3 weeks of war, U.S. forces have struck more than 9,000 targets in Iran and damaged or destroyed more than 140 ships and boats, all that according to the Pentagon. But the Islamic Republic tonight continues to fire back at the U.S. and its allies. Senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata has more on the fighting tonight from Tel Aviv.
In the middle of the latest wave of airstrikes across Iran.
So
Stage 25.
You guys understand? You see all that? I didn't know the TSA part was active. I didn't understand, or I didn't know that the government was not paying the people in the airport, and this has been going on for over a month. So you add that with this gas thing going on with the war, and prophecy says what, bro? Prophecy is. They are oracles written, spoken by Yahweh, okay, they are spiritual programs that govern the spirits on the earth they are assigned to. There's prophecies that govern nations. There's prophecies that govern individuals in those nations. They're you know what I'm saying? And so what is one of the prophecies about Iran? Iran is going to come out. They're going to get the upper hand. Second Esdras. Iran has their own, their own belief system, their own government, all this stuff, right? But prophecy, Yahweh has provided a portion of prophecy from his mouth that is going to supernaturally endue the Iranians because it connects to Yahweh Shabbat. This is like look at like an ice chipper. You got an ice chipper, you're chipping away at something. Yahweh is using Iran to chip away at Babylon, at Esau, bro. You see what I'm saying? So they're being used to deplete and to move against. Also, it looks like this is going to bring about a fucking major shutdown, which is also prophecy. It all serves Yahweh's purpose. So let's go to 2 Maccabees 15 and 28. So look at this, man. Behold, a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots. That's Ishmael. That's all the Arabians, right? So, but right now, they're going through a major transition. Why? Because they know Esau is shit. They have been made drunk on his wine. They've become addicted and drunk on the money they've been making off of their oil because of the power of the West. But the West is, everything's transitioning now, and they're upset that the bases in their nations are being shot at. But they also understand. They fucking understand why. They see everything fucking going on, and so this prophecy. It's got multiple layers, and I'm going to attempt to try to communicate what I've already and I've learned this by listening. This particular prophecy, I've learned by listening to GMS. This one wasn't Yahweh Shai. He did not give me this one. This one didn't come into my spirit. I was listening to the prophets. Now, one of the lines in here, the spirit Yahweh Shai exploded inside of me. But the opening up of this prophecy, I wasn't led into this by myself. The brother from GMS out of the UK, and then Elder Yashar Ramba right after him, and then once I watched them, YouTube brought up algorithms where I saw them talking about this years ago. This particular prophecy I didn't know. So listen to this. Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth. That's power. That's spiritual power. That all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Also the Carmenians, now that's Iran, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood. It doesn't matter if you believe in the Bible. It doesn't matter if you're for or against Iran. It doesn't matter if you're for America or Mystery Babylon. You got to understand this. You got to understand when you see these things, And when you get the understanding of these oracles, now you got America, the Epstein class. They have had power. They do have power on the left-hand side. But now they're like when a sword hits another sword and there's a spark or a sound, cling. That's what this is. Okay, remember like 3 months ago, when America went into Venezuela and it was just a fucking laydown? It was like a big dog coming into a house and the dog that was there barking just squatted and started pissing all over the fucking place. There was no fucking fight for Venezuela. Venezuela is Israelites, you guys. That's the northern kingdom. There's nothing in prophecy provided for them to stand up against Esau. There's nothing for Issachar. Remember how they just shot the dude? They shot Issachar, the head cartel, and then Issachar, probably with the CIA, started blowing up fucking Mexico. There's no reason. Right now, Esau shut down fucking Cuba. Cuba is Israel. Those are Israelites. They're fucking starving and they got no water or power in Cuba right now, bro. Esau is the hammer of the earth. Don't get it twisted. Motherfucker's untouchable. But now, right now, this time in history, he just hit something. He's dropping bombs, but he's getting hit fucking back, bro. This is an exchange. Why? Because of what is written right here in prophecy. Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, the testimony of Yahushai is the spirit of prophecy, and the Carmanians are the Iranians, bro. Iran is ancient Persia. Also, verse 30, the Carmanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood. Have you guys ever seen wild boars? Wild boars. Wild boars attacking. There ain't nothing nice, bro. They're not. This is a wild boar, a creature with longer legs and a more intimidating appearance compared to regular pigs. Wild boars are incredibly strong and highly aggressive. If they sense you see that shit, that nigga ran through the fucking gate, bro. Danger from humans, they can deliver lethal blows with their sharp tusks. And don't think you can outrun them. They can sprint at a speed of 48 kilometers per hour. So, how do you survive an encounter with one? Stand firm and dodge their attack, then quickly climb to a high... Look how fast that fucker was moving, bro. Now imagine 50 of them like that coming at your fucking ass. And they get you on the ground. They're gonna fucking eat you, dude. Their spot like a tree. Luckily, they can't climb trees, so you'll be safe there. This is a wild hogs are opportunistic eaters that...
Let me remind you that the wild boar is one of the most dangerous animals on planet Earth. First off, these bad boys could get over 500 pounds apiece. At the same time, they can also run at speeds of over 30 miles an hour. In other words, if you're not faster than Usain Bolt, then you're definitely not faster than the Bacon Bulldozer. And that's exactly what they are. A bulldozer. They're known for taking running starts and just smashing right into an opposing threat. And they'll do it on... That's a fucking pit bull. Now, of course, the pit bull is fucking chained up. But even if he wasn't, bro. Repeat until that opposing threat is no longer a threat. In fact, you're actually more likely to meet your maker by encountering a boar on land than you are a shark in water. Talk about a dangerous breakfast. Let me...
Getting hard and
Wild boars are large and powerful mammals native to Europe, Asia, and Africa. They belong to the pig family and are known...
Okay, I just wanted to show you that. They can get down, bro. And so the creator who wrote all the specs and all the designs and all the plans for every living creature, every creeping thing, every animal, every nation, when he is speaking into creation from his oracles, and he's being poetic and powerful and a man of war and amazing with his, Yahushai says, as King Solomon in the form of the Song of Solomon, writing as the Shulamite, declaring her love and praise for her lover, who is also, it's King Solomon, but it's the Most High. He says his mouth is most sweet. What does that mean? because Yahushua in that same song of Solomon is told by the Most High, his beloved, her beloved, that under thy tongue is milk and honey. Well, what does that mean? That's wisdom and understanding. Wisdom, honey is likened unto wisdom and enlightenment, light, illumination, Illuminati, Lucifer. You got right-handed and left-handed light. And under the tongue of Yahushua is both light and milk. Milk is to understand what you are seeing. So when Yahushua opens his mouth, it's honey and milk. And the precepts that back that up are in Proverbs. Also when Jonathan, King David's best friend, he dipped his staff into some honeycomb. And he said, look, see how my eyes have been enlightened by just a little taste of this honey? That right there, it's a dark saying. He not only was he physically and spiritually revived from actually eating honey, for the Hebrew Israelites, that is a slang or code word for ingesting the Holy Spirit, the spirit of wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and then your eyes, your vision, your prophetic understanding is enlightened, and you're nourished and fed from that. You're able to continue moving on forward because you've been strengthened by that. We don't just see, we don't just know by honey. We eat that stuff, bro. We eat what comes out. Man shall live. So when Yahweh was fasting, remember, it is written that man shall not live on bread alone, but every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. Well, what's that? What's the word? It's that sweet honey. His mouth is most sweet. So when Yahweh is speaking, when Yahushua is speaking what his Father has spoken, when any of the right-handed powers are being sent to give us skill, and they are speaking the words, they've been given the order, they've been given the okay to come and say something to us. That's all honey and milk. It's huge, and we're eating this, we're getting nourished by prophecy, but this is empowering the Iranians because Yahweh spoke it, and now it's the time. This token is for now. This is the beginning stages of it. Also, the Carmanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them. So there's going to be a uniting with the Iranians and the Arabs against who? Esau, Edom, Amalek, the so-called fucking white man, America. And with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. And that's talking about America. We are the modern day Assyrians, not the hopeful elect. But America is likened unto Assyria. It's likened unto Egypt. It's likened unto Babylon. It's likened unto the Chaldeans. And it's likened unto Sodom and Gomorrah. Those are just, I think, and I'm sure there's more. But all of you got the Chaldeans, bro, were the real deal gangster witch, the operators in witchcraft. And today, Esau, there's no other race on planet Earth. You have to receive this. This is not hate speech. This is not vulgar speech. White people, they prove that they really do have access. Satan is really dealing with them. There's no other nation of people on planet Earth that can prove the left-handed light, the Luciferian light on the left-hand side concerning the prince demon Satan, the depths of Satan, like the so-called white man. There is no fucking buddy, bro. And within the so-called white man, when you go up his ranks, at the top are the Amalekites, the people who claim to be God's chosen people. The people who claim to be the small hats, that is the highest ranking priesthood on the left-hand side. Hollywood's movies prove it. The music industry proves it. The symbolism when they erect buildings, when you look up in fucking Washington, D.C., and you look at the way the roads were built by George Washington and another Freemason, they did that in the 1800s, before there were computers, dude. They had left-handed power, bro. And they prove it. You will know a tree by its fucking fruits, man. This is not an insult against the white race. This is who they fucking are. And they live up to all these titles in Scripture They're the, what's the word? They're the perfection of all of those past wicked rulerships. They have perfected all of that shit today. Okay, so that's the on the bottom line of 30, and shall waste a portion. So that's not all. What are they doing? They're chipping away. So look, remember in 300. Let me see, when Leonidas 300, Leonidas strikes the God King. Let me see, watch. Remember.
Leonidas strikes the God King in.
Remember? I don't want it to play because I don't want it to strike, but do you remember? The God King, he had this image that he couldn't be touched, right? And then so throughout the whole movie, right, they're this intimidating factor, but 300 is pushing forward, and he meets with the God King, and this dude's like super tall, his voice is all deep, he's all beautiful looking. He's like twice the size of Leonidas, and at the end, Leonidas throws his spear, and his spear just barely nicks like the lip or the cheek or the ear of the side of the face. Just that was like, what? Because that wasn't even supposed to happen. That's what, here, let me fast forward it. So they're having their talk, and he's talking all deep. Look how big this nigga is compared to him. See, he's just huge, right? So he's trying to get him to submit, and I think he's going to throw his spear. I don't know if this is it or what. Leonidas talking with, no, not talking. I want to see, he does it, the most epic battle. Let me see, the final fight. Okay, right here.
There will be no glory in your sacrifice. I will against many. God.
Anyways, I don't want to get a strike. So fucking, he throws a spear and hits the dude. Just nicks him. It's not a, there it is right there. I think there it is. But, see how big he is compared to him? So, and that's America, bro. America is huge financially and militarily compared to everybody else. Plus, America has had prophecy empowering it. Remember in Obadiah, they shall build, but I shall throw down. That's provision in prophecy for the Edomites to become strong like they are. But they have told the world they did it because they're white. No, dude, you did it because Yahweh Tazabawaka said you were going to do it. So let's go back here. So this chipping right here, look, verse 30. Also the Carmanians, raging with wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of Assyrians. Now let's get waste and let's get portion in the Edamon. Waste. Devastate. Ooh, good one. To devastate, ravage, ruin. To waste, squander, spoil, ruin. Look at this, you guys. This is prophecy using Iran and everything that's going to happen as the ripple effect to waste a portion of America. Now let's get a portion. Let's get the word portion. It's not all, but it is some, right? It's enough. Allotted part. Part assigned or attributed. Also lot, fate. Ooh, bro, this is getting deep, man. Oh shit. Relay. Okay, so look. This is what's happening, man. Okay, verse 31. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. This is the part that the Spirit, once I understood this, what this was talking about, by listening to the prophets of GMS break this down. I have learned by experience. What I don't know, I will learn by listening to them. And just like the Bereans in the book of Acts, they knew the scriptures, but they needed to be shown a few more things. And when the apostles approached them, they told them the few more things. And then the Bereans went into the Bible and they're like, oh shit, they're right. Look, right here. And they accepted the truth. That's what's happening, bro. So when the men of GMS opened this up, I was thinking about this. And then I was like, wait a minute. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. When I heard that explained, I exploded because I remember the story that the Spirit gave me about King Nebuchadnezzar. King Nebuchadnezzar had all of his mind taken away from him, and at the end of 7 years, he had it restored to him. And that was given to me to defend or to understand how people are saying, nobody can know the 100% truth. You guys are full of crap. You don't know. It's like, hold up. We have a record in the book of Daniel where Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai restores King Nebuchadnezzar, who is not even one of his sons. He's a great king of Babylon, but he's not one of his elect. And he punishes him for not giving glory to Yahweh when he knew Yahweh was doing everything because of Daniel. Daniel was interpreting all kinds of mysteries and enigmas during the entire reign of Nebuchadnezzar. And Nebuchadnezzar in his pride was glorying about him building Babylon all by himself. So Yahweh put him down at the determination of the watchers for 7 years, didn't allow the Medes or the Persians or any other power to come take his throne while he was incapacitated for 7 years, proving the sovereignty of Yahweh. How come his throne wasn't taken? Come on, bro. People take thrones all the fucking time. This man is crazy, eating grass with claws and feathers, looking like a boogeyman, and everyone's like, what the fuck happened to King Nebuchadnezzar? And 7 years goes by, bro, and then the scriptures say he looked up, and his reasoning, his light returned unto him. Same thing's happening with us today. Ezekiel chapter 37, I heard a sound, and a noise, and a and bone, bone came to bone, and sinew upon sinew, and the flesh. And then they stood upon their feet, and there was no breath. And then I prophesied, breathe, O breath of the four winds. And the breath entered into the dry bones, and they stood upon their feet and became a living army, bro. And Revelations 11:11. And all those who saw them standing upon their feet were afraid. Yahweh does this with multiple nations at multiple times and multiple points in history. When I read this, I was like, oh my God, it makes sense. Everybody right now on earth is not operating in their fullness capacity of their identity for different reasons. We are being punished. We discontinued. That's clear. But the other nations, China is Moab, you guys. They're not China. Ishmael is Ishmael. They're not the Arabs. But because Esau is in power and he calls himself white, he's been able to reclassify everyone, and everyone has come under those reclassifications for different reasons at different times, and it has affected their entire house. Ishmael being one of those groups. They are not behaving like Ishmael right now, even though we've been told they are. No, they're fucking drunk on Esau's wine. They're fucking drunk on that goddamn money. They have a place to ship off their fucking money and then go build places like Dubai. They have not been behaving as themselves, and this precept says they're gonna remember their nature, bro. This is fucking huge. This goes into Amos, how the Most High declares. He declares unto man what is his thought. He is the ultimate mind controller. Job, when man goes to sleep and deep sleep falls upon him, he receives his instruction. This man's goings are of Yahweh. How then can he know his own way? The heart of the king is in the hand of the Lord. He turns it, whether the heart meaning his mind. Yahweh is the ultimate mind controller, man. And it's brilliant the way it's just like, wow. Anyways, so we see this, right? Now, one more precept, and I'm going to be done. They shall, it's in here, right? They shall, let me see. Want to go into another city. Let me see if that pulls it up. Nope. And not be able. They should. Fuck. I don't know how to use that one on this one. It's in 2nd Ezra 15 or 16. I think it's 15. All right, man, there it is. Slakia. So this is what I was looking for. 2 Ezra 15:17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. Now, all of this is connected. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity, because this is all going to be a gradualization. Right now, we are at the beginning stages. I think, you guys, this is going to happen. But I think we're witnessing it right now. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. Now, once this starts to happen, all of these other lines are going to start to increase with intensity. Because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity. Why? It's going to tell you why. Upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of a lack of bread and for great tribulation. 19 and 17, I think, are starting. I think these are starting. Remember, you guys remember, what did Trump say? This was a left-handed enigma, a left-handed prophecy. Trump says this may be, this may just, and it doesn't make any sense why he's speaking to his own nation like this. It was like a mean statement. I'm not talking about Christmas. It didn't make sense. Trump says this may be your last Christmas. Look, and Christmas has been a major enchantment for the government on the people of America. It's been a huge weapon. On Christmas Day, 2025, let me see, Trump posted a message on Truth Social that included an ominous warning telling his political opponents to enjoy what may be your last Merry Christmas. Context of the statement: target audience. The message was part of a broader combative post directed at Democrats. That's bullshit. It wasn't directed at Democrats. It was directed at the nation, which is also a symbol to the world. What leader? What is America? America, right? It's because of its height and because of its wickedness, its influence. We also we vibrate throughout the entire earth, right? Everybody watches us on social media. They watch our movies. They listen to our music. We travel back and forth to their nations. They travel back and forth to our nation, right? They move here. They have people back at home. They come here to get jobs, education, go back home. There's all kind of shit. Christmas is an idol. It's a major fucking idol in the cycles of the Gregorian calendar, the sun calendar, the false timing of America. He will seek to change times and seasons, and the wicked idolatry of what Christmas has been always in this country. Dude, you guys, it's been a peak, and who has been at the top making all the money off of those holidays? The wicked elite, the Edomites, and they don't celebrate Christmas because we see what they're doing in the Epstien files. They're doing Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, 3, 4, 5, and 6. They're practicing the ancient Canaanite practices of the feasts of blood and the human sacrifice, the child sacrifices, and all the crazy sexual practices they're doing. That's what they do. Okay? They don't celebrate Christmas. That is for us. They understand the deeper meaning of the fir tree being erected in the house, and then Ishtar, the Easter bunny. They understand the left-handed meaning, but the nation on the bottom, we've been told another bullshit reason. Oh, this is for Easter, for Bible, and this Christmas is for Bible. It's all perverted, right? Okay, why the fuck would he say something like that about that particular? Think about a president saying something like that about Christmas 15 years ago. Imagine. Well, it wasn't. There's no fuck. He wouldn't have had permission to say that because of the amount of the billions of dollars that was being extracted out of the country every year because of that fucking that psyop. Think about that, bro. There's a reason why he was able to say that publicly. Because that's not fucking normal, bro. That's not fucking normal at all, dude. There's too many other powerful Edomite groups that are wicked that benefit from the darkness of what that was. The illusion of it being the one the world ignorantly calls Jesus, his birthday. Same thing with the bunny rabbit and fucking Easter. That's an abomination, dude. That is not the Passover, bro. That's not the fucking Passover. Anyways, so this is serious. Now, look what he said. It was December 25th, all right? The target audience, the message was part of a broader combative post directed at Democrats and others he labeled sleazebags, who he claimed were associated with Jeffrey Epstein. And this dude was in all kind of fucking... Look at the insanity of this. There's fucking pictures of this asshole. Oh my God, with Jeffrey Epstein, bro. Wow. The post, Trump wrote, "Merry Christmas to all, including the many sleazebags who loved Jeffrey Epstein. Gave him bundles of money, went to his island, attended his parties, and thought he was the greatest guy on earth, only to drop him like a dog when things got too hot." Look at that. That's actually, look what he's saying. He's kind of saying two things here. You motherfuckers that got scared, like, look at that. Wow. Wow, bro. Anyways, enjoy what may be your last Merry Christmas. That's a fucking coded, there's so much in that, bro. Surrounding posts. This statement was one of over 100 posts made on the True Social over the holidays period, where he also criticized radical left scum, discussed foreign policy, and touted his economic accomplishments. And they've been stealing like crazy. Timing. The comment followed the release of more documents related to the Jeffrey Epstein files. And remember, all the brothers were saying there's coming another event that's got to counter, because this is pattern recognition. Whenever they have released things like this, and this was one of the most intense, most fucking non-revealing things they've ever exposed about themselves, instantly what happened? The whole situation with Iran. So this, coupled with all of this, is looking like we're stepping into what prophecy says, restriction of movement and restriction of speech. It's all coming, man. Which is the famine of the word, because look, the famine of the word, let's get that. That connects, the famine of the word also connects with the restriction of movement. So Esau is going to try to stop you from talking, which is Yahweh, the famine of the word. And then he's also going to restrict temporarily our movements. But we understand that this is Jacob's trouble, and we understand that Yahweh Shai is right around the corner. Amos 8:11. "Behold, the days come, and we're entering into those days, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor of thirst or water, but of hearing the words of the Lord." Because the most important thing on the internet, just like the most important people on the planet Earth, the most important people, there's an order to this, are the hopeful elect to Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai, and the most important thing being said and displayed on planet Earth are the prophets harping out the new song, declaring the true name of Yahweh, the true name of Yahweh Shai, honoring and explaining who the chariots, what the chariots are, who's inside the chariots, that they are the Allahayim, sanctifying the name of Yahweh Shai, sanctifying the name of Yahweh, sanctifying the image, the character, the nature of both the right and the left-hand powers of Yahweh, putting things back in order over the internet, all of us declaring the truth about the so-called white man who is Esau, Edom, and Amalek, saying who is the true 12 tribes of Israel, the northern and southern kingdom, right? And in repeating what has been said in prophecy correctly. Renaissance Christianity has not done that. The so-called white man has had the Bible in his hand for hundreds of years, and all they were able to come up with was a fake white Jesus that loves everybody, pay your tithes, Joyce Meyer selling a fucking different book every year, and the other white dude that does the fucking stadiums, him talking about your best life now. That is the best Renaissance Western Christianity. could do, which it was all bullshit. It put an Edomite white image of God, the angels, and Yahushua into the minds of the people of the earth, and all of those idols are coming down. Isaiah chapter 19. So I didn't know that the TSA up until recently was having problems, and now I'm like, wait a minute. And if you go on YouTube and you just look, there's brothers posting. So these brothers are live right now.
Vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it.
Right, and the importance of the book of Habakkuk, which means his name means to embrace.
That's the elder Yashuramba right there. Absolutely one of my favorites. So look, energy lockdown has started. Okay, look, all precepts. Another fiery brother. Okay, the world's worst energy crisis is here. Look, we're just gonna randomly go through some of these.
All right, Shalom. I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. The world's worst energy crisis has arrived. These are the responses. Here we go.
I'm actually going to listen to this once I'm done with this lesson. This guy's fire, man.
The war in West Asia has done something that economists have feared for decades. It has disrupted the flow of energy on a scale never seen before. From Seoul to London, from New Delhi to Beijing, every government is scrambling. None of them have a silver bullet for the problem. The response to the shortage is varied. Some countries are releasing emergency reserves. Some are telling citizens when they can take out their cars. Some are freezing fuel prices before anger spills onto the streets. And at least one country is going in a completely different direction. It believes this crisis is not a problem to manage. Instead, it's an opportunity to transform. Tonight, we break down the tools that various governments are using to survive this shock.
The world is running low on energy. And it is not a gradual decline, it is a shock. A war in West Asia has disrupted the flow of energy like nothing before it. How are governments around the world responding to the challenge? The response has been varied, but it falls into a clear pattern. Some countries are controlling supply, others are capping prices. A few are restricting how energy is used, and one has taken a completely different direction altogether. The first tool is supply control. This means governments stepping in to decide where energy goes and where it does not.
See? And look, it's gonna get to this. 17, 2 Ezra 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And then eventually the trickle down, as you read down, it gets worse and worse and worse. By the time you get to chapter 16, man, if you don't have the Spirit, it'll freak you out. It's going to be bad. I think it's really looking, you guys, like we are entering into that moment.
In India, the government invoked emergency powers. This tool is rarely used. But it allowed the government to redirect energy supplies across the entire system. Refineries were ordered to maximize production of LPG. To protect that supply, India cut gas allocations to industrial users. Factories came second. Kitchens came first. The government also barred households with piped gas connections from refilling LPG cylinders. India also moved to secure its import pipeline. It expanded its energy supply network from 27 countries to 41. The logic is straightforward. Do not depend on any single region. China took a similar approach, but in the opposite direction. Where India restricted what came in, China restricted what went out. It banned the export of refined fuel, keeping its petrol and diesel within its own borders. Japan took a third route entirely. It released supply it had already held in reserve. Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi confirmed the decision this week. Japan announced its biggest ever release of emergency oil reserves. The government approved the release of 15 days' worth of private sector reserves. 3 countries, 3 versions of the same tool, control what moves and where.
There you go. The world is running low on energy, man. All right?
Okay, so I'm going to stop it there. If you guys don't know this brother, that's the brother from GMS All Precepts. Subscribe to his channel. He's fire. And same with Elder Yasharamba of Dallas. Remnant Save 144. You will learn a lot. I pray that this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash, and double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone of whom I learned from. This is your brother, Radah Shalom.